Good evening. There is a major joint police military operation underway in the St. Andrew South Police Division. This comes after a gun believed to be buried about 5 feet underground was seized by law enforcement officers during a major joint police military operation in the St. Andrew South Police Division yesterday. The security personnel have already seized a 9mm pistol, .45 caliber gun with 9 live rounds and 2 magazines. The seizure was made at a residence at St. Paul's Lane off Olympic Way in the division. Late last evening, the officers swarmed the area and have been diligently combing the yard of a resident with members of the K9 division as they believe that more guns are buried there. Operations Officer for the St. Andrew South Division, Deputy Superintendent of Police Coleridge Minto, says the police will find the illegal weapons, regardless of how uniquely hidden they are.
Earlier today, we received intelligence of illegal weapons at a particular address in the St. Paul Lane, which is off the Waterhouse area. Tower Hill. A team of officers led by myself and Inspector Thompson. We journeyed to this location, supported by members of the K9 division, and we conducted a thorough search. At the end of the search, we recovered 1 weapon, 2 magazines, several live rounds that was found buried about 5 feet into the ground. As we speak, the team is still digging and searching for other weapons. The search continues, but I want to highlight the challenges that we face as law enforcement. The criminals in this space, men are hiding weapons in some ingenious ways. We are going after them. We are utilizing technology, utilizing the K9, and we have members of the search center that assist us from time to time. We are going to find the weapons that are hidden wherever they are within the St. Andrew South Division. As I indicate, we have been on the ground well over 3 hours digging. Thankfully, we identified and came up with something. But we have been on the ground over 3 hours digging, and the men are still here, even at this hour, still digging based on the intelligence that we have gathered. So we're not going to leave as yet. We're still going to dig some more based on the fact that we were told that other weapons could be hidden in the ground at this location.
Earlier this week, the police did a series of nighttime snap raids across 3 police divisions. In one raid, the police recovered a Smith & Wesson firearm with 17 rounds on Mannings Hill Road in St. Andrew. A man was arrested in connection with that find. Another snap raid recovered a submachine gun at the McVickers Lane area in Spanish Town, and yet another weapon, a shotgun, was seized in the Swamp Lane area of Bog Walk, St. Catherine. Mello TV will bring you more on this story in subsequent newscasts. In other news tonight, detectives assigned to the Manchester Police Division are probing the circumstances surrounding the fatal shooting of an unidentified man by a licensed firearm holder at a business establishment in Mandeville, Manchester yesterday. Reports from the Mandeville police coming into our news center are that at approximately 11:10 p.m., 2 gunmen entered the establishment and one ordered a drink. One of the gunmen then pulled a firearm and attempted to rob the bartender. The licensed firearm holder intervened and challenged the gunmen. Following the gunfight, one of the men was seen with gunshot wounds. The police were alerted and he was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. A model 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 9 9mm rounds of ammunition was recovered from the scene. Continuing with the news tonight, a multi-agency operation is underway in Montego Bay that is aimed at restoring public order to the city. Dubbed Restoring Paradise, a public order reset, the operation, which started in the wee hours of August 15, involves the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, the St. James Municipal Corporation, Jamaica Defense Force, the JDF, and the Transport Authority. Superintendent of Police in charge of operations for St. James, Aaron Samuels, revealed that one area, the People's Arcade, fosters criminal elements and is a public health hazard.
First and foremost, we wanted to ensure that we do a sweep of the People's Arcade. From time to time, we always have persons who are not known to the police who migrate from different areas and take up residence within the People's Arcade and may end up becoming nuisances to us. So we were here to detect crimes, see if we can find wanted persons or persons of interest. There were 2 persons who were known to the police that were taken into custody for us to do some investigations, to interview them to see if they are wanted anywhere else for any crimes. Also for our public order reset, we're looking at the whole facility here, which is really in a state of disarray. It was not built with policing in mind, and we find that with a place like this, it gives a safe haven for a lot of criminals to operate. So we are looking at the whole issue of even the public health hazards that are here. We have agencies that are partnering with us today, Ministry of Health. We have the National Water Commission, the Municipal Corporation. They were in search of breaches. The Ministry of Health, they have been having an ongoing investigation into the sanitation issues here. Water Commission has verified that there is no running water within the facility here, but yet still there are generations of families living here, leading to poor sanitation practices. Also, what we know of a fact is that a lot of the meals that are sold on the streets are prepared here in a situation where there's no running water and poor sanitation conveniences. So we are really looking at a broad spectrum of public order issues here, and the main is for the health and wellness of our citizens in Montego Bay.
He noted that if the place was properly restructured, it would provide an excellent vending facility.
We are very concerned with the fact that meals are being prepared here and sold on the streets. The evidence we see in some areas where there are push carts with the writings on it for porridge being sold, soup being sold. There's evidence of utensils used, but there's no evidence of running water. So we are concerned with that. We have done many operations here before. We know that it is used as an escape route when persons commit crimes in other areas in the city. They run through here and make good their escape because it's a maze. So we really are concerned, and we believe that our intervention is greatly needed if we are to bring about some law and order within the space here in Montego Bay. Well, personally, I think that this location would be ideal if totally revamped and designed to allow for persons to vend, an extension of the bus park so that we can take most of the traffic out of the town, foot and vehicular traffic. And also it would provide a structured space for legitimate vendors to rent, put in the proper amenities, running water, light, and we'll have a situation where we can have a safe place for persons to sell, for persons to make purchases, and persons to ply their routes and take taxis. The multi-agency approach that we are operating with now will bring these agencies together, so we'll sit at the table and decide on the way forward. We have already started speaking with the Municipal Corporation about this particular entity, and they are in agreement that something must be done. So we are just ensuring that we get the public order together, and then we will tie in all the issues and the areas that we can to ensure that this works. So we just need to start the planning as soon as possible to get this done.
The operation will run for the next 14 days and is aimed at curtailing widespread illegal vending, indiscipline among taxi operators, and other forms of public nuisance. In the meantime, Commanding Officer for St. James, Senior Superintendent of Police Vernon Ellis, explained the strategies that are being implemented in the ongoing public order restoration taking place in Montego Bay. SSP Ellis also expressed gratitude for the overwhelming support, not only from the larger business community, but more so from the commuting and vending public.
So we started out with the basic in terms of looking at the levels of public disorder the illegal vending, the satellite taxi operators, cash or goal operators, a lot of issues that would lead to public disorder. We are actually at a stage now where we are getting a high level of compliance. We are getting persons to adhere to the rule of law. We are bringing to bear the multi-agency approach. So, for example, the Transport Authority that they are with us, they are getting persons to regularize. The persons from the Ministry of Health, they too, they are doing some work around what we're having in here. The municipal cooperation is pretty much shouldering what they should do in terms of enforcing the municipal rules. What we're doing though, we're seeking to have the space properly regulated. The issue that we're having, and when you have this type of disorder, even if something takes place inside of the township, it's hard to respond with the effective time that we'd want for it to respond. We also realize too that where you're having challenges with crime, where you have some simple things that are happening that no one is paying attention to, a lot of other things will follow. So pretty much it's a zero tolerance approach to restoring public order. The citizens store surprise, they've welcomed it. You know, the business community, they are supportive of it. And the vendors themselves, they are very cooperative. All they want now is to be regulated and to be placed in proper spaces and to have the necessary sanitary convenience.
He indicated that the main concern from the residents is how the operation will be sustained.
We're getting overwhelming feedback from business community, different levels of private sector, public sector, you know, people passing, giving us thumbs up, you know, saying that they appreciate it. All of them, though, their biggest concern is how we will sustain this type of operation. We're trying now at the management level and, you know, requesting more support to build some depth in sustaining this operation. The reality is 2 weeks or 3 months won't lead to that significant change. So we're looking at sustaining the operation beyond 90 days. We're also looking at how we can, in the meantime, through the multi-agency approach, teach persons to self-regulate. So actually we can scale down the number of officers. We're bringing in some force multipliers like surveillance units and mobile police station for the township itself. So when those elements are put in, which they should come in within the next 14 years, they will see some significant transformation.
Continuing with the news tonight, the Jamaica Business Development Corporation, JBDC, has taken another step towards digital transformation with the launch of its new website yesterday. Entrepreneurs who wish to register as clients online will have the chance to create a profile that includes outlining their unique needs through the online interface. Following the completion of their registrations, they will be contacted by a member of the JBDC who will route them through the agency's incubation system. Clients will also be able to update their demographics as this becomes necessary. Corporate Communications Manager at the JBDC, Suzette Campbell, explained that the new website takes a client-centric approach in a variety of ways. And Minister with responsibility for the environment, Matthew Samuda, is rejecting calls to separate the environment portfolio and, by extension, the National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, from the Ministry of Economic Growth. The minister says the two issues cannot be neatly separated. Mr. Samuda was responding to concerns from opposition leader Mark Golding that NEPA's presence in the Ministry of Economic Growth represents a conflict of interests. But Mr. Samuda has hit back. He has suggested the opposition leader lacks credibility on environmental protection. He went on to describe the current administration as the greenest in the country's history. And those are the stories making news. I am Shelley Hill. Do stay safe. Pleasant viewing and thanks for watching.